Hi everyone, I'm Mr. Bo, and in today's video we're going to be going over your ideas for brand new PvP and PvE events you would like to see in the future of Destiny. So you guys had a ton of great ideas and we're going to be going over them right now. So our first idea comes from Paul, and he has a few different ideas. So let's start off with the first one, which is Sparrow Racing. Now you guys seem to really want Sparrow Racing. Quite a few of you guys had the idea for Sparrow Racing in Destiny, and it's definitely something that I would like to see as well in the future. Next, he would like special Crucible games on entire patrol maps, maybe search and destroy / capture the flag with 16 to 32 people in total. That would be really cool. Now hopefully maybe in Destiny 2 we'll actually get PvP areas in patrol locations. That would be something really cool to see, and it's something I've actually wanted in Destiny for a long time, PvP in a patrol area, so I think that could be really fun. Next we have Loot Cave, which serves as a Court of Oryx type thing, rewards year 2 versions of year 1 weapons. Now I am all for having things like the Court of Oryx. The Court of Oryx is really fun, and to have something that would give you year 2 versions of year 1 weapons, sign me up. Next we have Faction Wars. Now this is something that I thought Destiny would actually have when we first heard about the factions in Destiny, but he says winning factions get new emotes and cosmetics until the next faction war. Maybe every month there is a brand new faction war between certain factions, and if you are with that faction you can go along and fight and try and win your rewards. Next we then have speedruns of strikes at different difficulties. Now I don't know if you guys have ever tried to speedrun a strike before, but it is pretty fun. If you've done the Red Bull quests, there's actually a quest to do the Fallen Saber in 18 minutes, and having to run through it in that amount of time is actually pretty fun. So I could definitely see something where you have to try and run through strikes as quickly as possible, or maybe even raids. And his final idea is a choreography contest. With all the brand new emotes we have in the game, hopefully they'll add more dance emotes in the future. Having some sort of choreography contest, maybe Bungie has to host it, and you have to submit your videos onto bungie.net for them to judge it, but that would be really cool and really fun to see. Next we have Joshua, who says this: I would love to see a Sparrow race event where if you got first place you would get a random engram or something. Maybe the race could be randomized, or it could have rings you have to go through, and the more rings you went through, the higher chance of you getting an exotic engram. So again, Sparrow Racing, a lot of you guys seem to want it, and it seems like it would really work well in Destiny. We have the brand new patrol event where you have to drive through those sparks of light in order to keep the level up. Use the same sort of checkpoints and put them in a race fashion where maybe you have to race against another 5 people, so a 6-man race, and the first person to run through all of them gets some sort of reward, maybe a reward for first, second and third. Hopefully we see something like this in Destiny's future. Next we have an idea from Alea Infinitus called Explorer's Guild. Objective 1 is you must load into a certain area each time the event comes around. Objective 2 must do research, i.e. collecting planet materials, finding some loot chests, scanning types of enemies and maybe certain objects. Objective 3, place down beacons like on the Dreadnought and find the correct drops to bring the network online. So I could see an event like this actually making patrol a lot more fun. Being rewarded for the things you normally do in patrol, like collecting materials or looting chests, is actually going to make people go out and do the normal patrol mode, because at the moment not a lot of people really do that unless you're on the Dreadnought. In that case you're probably doing the Court of Oryx. Next we have an idea from Codfish Gaming, who says, pretty sure you've heard this one before, but Sparrow Racing and space battles would be awesome. Most likely this will never happen though. Again, a lot of you guys want Sparrow Racing, and I really think Bungie are going to be adding it very soon. As for space battles, we all expected it to come in Destiny, but unfortunately it didn't. Maybe Destiny 2, but if not, hopefully in the future of Destiny at some point. The next idea comes from Fire Enhance. An idea for an event is a monthly event in which you go into a shooting range led by the Gunsmith and compete to knock out targets first. Whoever wins gets to pick any random Gunsmith weapon of their choice. So this would definitely give players something to do whilst in the tower. There isn't really many activities to do in the tower, it's just going to hand in quest or to pick up loot. Having some sort of gun range or other activities in the tower would make that trip a lot more fun, and being given the chance to earn legendary weapons from the Gunsmith would definitely make people want to play this. The next idea we have is from Blake Moran. He says a public event that spawns randomly. It would be very hard to complete. Maybe waves of enemies, then a boss, very high level, maybe something crazy like 310, and it has a chance to drop exotics and and guarantees legendary. So I think this is what a lot of players wanted when they heard about public events. If you guys have ever played a game like Defiance, they had huge public events where you'd have 100+ people trying to take down this massive boss and you would get great rewards from it. Now in Destiny, it's just something like defending the Warsat or taking down a spider tank. So hopefully in the future of Destiny, they can have bigger public events where you have maybe 50+ people trying to take down this massive enemy and you do get guaranteed legendaries or maybe even exotic drops. The next idea comes from Velo96. It's called Faction Wars. He says Faction Wars similar to Halo 5's Warzone, where different factions are facing with one another, like Future War Cult versus Dead Orbit, teams of 6v6, where you capture control points in certain areas in the map. At different times it will change objective modes like control into salvage, maybe into rift. Add PvE content at the same time, facing Fallen, Vex, Cabal or even Hive mages or bosses, depends on the Crucible map. For extra point, your team's faction has to win. There'll be streaks, or if you've accumulated enough points, your faction can buy heavy ammo or special ammo, or even unlock the radar or certain weapon types during the battle. This can finally solve the problem with combined arms, which contains vehicles and huge maps to be played more often. Having now had a chance to play Warzone in Halo 5, it is a lot of fun and I could definitely see something like that working in Destiny. Having the different enemy AI spawn in the map would be a lot of fun to take out, and having bosses spawn randomly again would be fun in the middle of a PvP combat zone. The next idea comes from Ghost. He would like a public event where you have to go to the wall in the Cosmodrome like in the very first mission, but there is a public event where the Fallen and all the different houses, the Kings, the Devil and the others invade the wall and you have to protect it from the Fallen. They will attack in 3 waves. First Fallen with 2 Barons, then the second with the Fallen getting taken, including a 3rd Baron that drops in, and then the 3rd wave begins with the Fallen fighting the taken Fallen as they try to breach the wall, and the rewards come from killing the Barons. I think it would be a great place to use the team chat and to meet others, and when you enter areas it can go up to 12 players and it should come up more than other public events. So this kind of reminds me of something similar to the Court of Oryx. Have this huge event where you can go to the outside of the Cosmodrome because it's not being used for anything and activate it when you want. Then the Fallen could come and you have to fight them off like he said, and then at the end you get the rewards, kind of like the Court of Oryx but on the Cosmodrome. And I would really like to see more public events like this kind of thing with wave based enemies and make it last a lot longer, maybe 20 to 30 minutes to take out all the waves. And those are all your ideas for brand new events you would like to see in Destiny, both PvP and PvE. Be sure to let me know in the comments below what you guys think of these ideas. If you would like to have your idea featured in the next episode, then be sure to leave your ideas for brand new exotic quest lines you would like to see in Destiny in the comments below, and I'll be sure to go through them and feature them in next week's episode. You can include the whole quest line as well as the weapon or armor you get at the end of it. Also, if you guys missed my previous video in which I went over the Bungie weekly update and talked about how you were going to be able to buy weapon parts soon, as well as having a use for Worm Spore and Etheric Light, then you can click the image on screen or the link in the description below. Feel free to give the like button a big old hug, subscribe for tons more Destiny content and coverage. Hope you guys have an awesome day, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye.